One of the other best offenses in the league, or was one of the best offenses in the league.
Definitely still one of the best.
Definitely still one of the Bucks. Bucks sitting at 11-4 now. My question to you is: are the Bucks starting to get figured out? The Saints now, over the last 2 seasons, has provided a blueprint for Tom Brady and the Bucks, and it's to make Tom Brady uncomfortable. Tom Brady, for 21 years, all he's been is comfortable in New England.
Yeah.
Now he comes here. Saints are 4-0 against him in the regular season, 4-1 including playoffs, because you're not beating Brady in the playoffs. That's what happens. And now Brady with his guys. Now I know Goodwin wasn't one of his guys, but Tom Brady's relying on guys like Gronk and Lenny. Lenny is now out.
Yeah, I know Leonard Fournette, but I mean, Ronald Jones is a pretty good
Ronald Jones is good
back. So.
But my point, Ronald Jones is a great number 2 back.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, for 21 years, has been comfortable. Has liked comfort. That's why he brought Gronk. That's why he brought Lenny. That's why he brought Antonio Brown. He tried to bring Julian Edelman. He wanted as much like what he knows.
Yeah, he definitely likes sticking to what he knows because, I mean...
It makes him so much better.
Yeah.
And he's a system QB, so what are you...
I mean, you give him a great O-line and good weapons, he's going to execute. And now, with injuries decimating the team, no Godwin, no Evans last week, he's got one of his main targets back, Antonio Brown.
Brown coming back is big for them.
100 yards. So, yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
So, in 9 losses with Tampa, Brady has had many injuries on the offense, has been uncomfortable, has been on that stuff. 14 turnovers for Tom Brady. In 9 losses with New England, 0 interceptions. And that just goes back for me being comfortable. Tom Brady is a creature of habit, and that's what the Saints are providing the blueprint. Make Tom uncomfortable. Brady is in a very vulnerable position right now for him to get beat this postseason. I really hope it happens. And Tampa Bay brought back all 22 starters after their Super Bowl. They were a great team.
Yeah,
but what does that tell you? They wanted to stay the same, stay comfortable, not get better.
Well, what we saw in 2020 was, I mean, I would say the team overall going into midseason was mediocre. And then after they lost to the Chiefs, they didn't even lose.
Yep.
So they just got all together, and they said, this is a Super Bowl team. Why not? Everybody took pay cuts. They got the whole team back together, and sometimes it doesn't always work out, and they're dealing with injuries now. I mean, I still think they have a pretty good.
Tampa Bay is going to knock off 1-2 teams. They'll probably be beating the Packers in the championship game still. It unravels a lot quicker for Tom Brady in Tampa Bay than it once did in New England.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely...
He's also 44, 45 years old.
Yeah, that's great. He's old as hell.
He's old as hell. Have you seen any more of The Man in the Arena?
I'm only on episode 2. I saw a few episodes with, a few clips with his wife Giselle, but talking about it. So other than that, I haven't watched any more episodes.
The new one came out last night. I still got to watch it. I'm excited for it.
I still need to watch all of them. It's mesmerizing.
Dude, it's so good. It gets you sucked in so quick.
For sure.
The Titans last week, A.J. Brown, shout out to A.J. Brown. He screwed me over in fantasy. Didn't think he was going to play, and then he was on my bench, got 31 points.
Yeah, he went absolutely crazy, and then Julio Jones came back as well. So, I mean, Tannehill's getting his weapons back downfield.
The big one's going to be Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry comes back. That offense.
I was telling one of my friends, I don't know if he's going to come back this week, one of my friends from Charlotte, Sosa, he was asking me if I should drop Derrick Henry after he got injured. And I said there was a possibility he could come back for this championship game week. And I said, do you want to be playing against Derrick Henry in the championship game? Because everybody was ruling Derrick Henry out. And I was like, the Titans are still going to be sitting at, what are they at, 11 and something? No, 10 and something. They're still going to be right there in the mix. Derrick Henry's going to come back. And A.J. Brown is playing like A.J. Brown used to play. What are they at?
They're at 10-5. And, I mean... If they get that whole offense back healthy, they have a chance to make a run.
I really like the Titans. Last year they went to the championship game.
Yeah.
They went good. They were a good football team last year. They pulled off a big win against the 49ers on Thursday night. That's where a lot of the hate we were talking about earlier from Garoppolo is coming from. Mm-hmm. Big win over the 49ers on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans got their weapons back, but the Niners have been playing so well. Jimmy G had been playing well. Debo had been playing well. I mean, that's their offense. I honestly didn't expect the Titans to win. So, I mean, that was a big upset to me.
Big upset to me. I'm happy the Titans are a team for me that I'm happy. I'm not rooting against the Titans, and I think they're an incredibly talented team, and I really like Ryan Tannehill, the amount of stuff they battled through this year. And Ryan Tannehill, without all of his receivers, was still going out and getting dubs. Awesome to see. Another team in the AFC, one more win than the Titans. Chiefs are sitting at 11-4. Chiefs are spreading the ball out ton more. It's what I've been saying they needed to do all season long. And if I were to tell you last week that the Chiefs would have no Kelsey, Tyreek Hill would only catch the ball twice. That they would dominate. Yeah, that screwed me too. I had Tyreek Hill too. Every week I get screwed. I'm over fantasy this year. But if I told you that, would you believe that the Chiefs win big after all the stuff that's happened with them this year and them being just a two-trick pony?
From the way they started, it definitely didn't look good.
Yep.
But to see how that team's turn around defensively is insane.
It's insane. The Packers' defense was atrocious as well. I don't understand how defense make that quick. It's very impressive.
They went from allowing 30 points to an average of 10 points.
Exactly. They were one of the league's best, if not the league's best defense.
Yeah, they had one. I mean, they allowed the Chargers to score, 24 points, I think it was.
Yep.
And then they basically, they'd shut out the Steelers, but it damn well looked like it.
They dominated the Steelers. That was an incredible game.
Yeah.
The kind of rhythm they showed last week, if they keep that through the AFC playoffs, they are going to roll.
I still see the Chiefs. They're my Super Bowl king.
They're my. I like from the AFC for the Super Bowl. I like the Chiefs. I like the Titans. I like the Colts as my underdog.
Yeah, Indianapolis.
Here's my thing about Indianapolis. They have so many good playmakers. Jonathan Taylor, they got Pittman, they got all these great playmakers that keep the game close until the fourth quarter. Carson Wentz, dating back to what should have been an MVP year, and I think it was 2016 before he got hurt.
Yeah.
What should have been an MVP, or 2017, what should have been an MVP year for Carson Wentz, he was a game manager for the first 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, it was his job to go out there and ball. Make the magician throws, make the big plays, and go win the football game because you're up 2 points or it's tied or you're down 2 points. The team has kept it this close. You're the quarterback. Time to put the team on your back and go get the dub. Yeah. Carson Wentz is the best at doing that. That's why the Colts are scary for me, especially if Jonathan Taylor gets going in the playoffs in the cold. Because the Colts are going to be traveling. The Colts probably won't have home field for long.
No, but if they get Jonathan Taylor going, it'll definitely put a lot of.
I like the Colts probably. The Colts and the Titans. The Colts and the Titans are kind of in the same book for me. I like Wentz and Tannehill the same. I think Taylor and Henry about the same. I think Titans probably got a bit better wide receivers. Colts a better defense.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Definitely better. But I think the Titans and Colts would keep the game close against the Chiefs. AFC Championship.
They definitely give them a run for their money.
They would give them a run.
I think they would outdo them offensively.
It's the defense that's going to come down. I like the Colts, I think, for the better matchup against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
if the Colts are back healthy fully.
Yeah, if they're back healthy fully, they get their whole O-line back, I definitely see John.
That's the big thing. Carson Wentz can't be getting bodied all the time.
Yeah, they've got a lot of injuries on their O-line, and their O-line is cracked when they're totally healthy, and having that type of O-line with Jonathan Taylor will definitely put a run for the money against teams like the Chiefs, who haven't been all that great against the run.
Yeah.
So.
I wanted to look at 2 quarterbacks today. It popped up on my Twitter the other day. It was Baker Mayfield versus Jared Goff. And I've been a believer in Baker Mayfield since the beginning, but I can't do it anymore. I love Baker Mayfield. As an Oklahoma Sooner, I loved him. When he got drafted number 1 overall, I loved it. For the last 3 years, I loved it. I now hate it.
Yeah, this year he's been pretty bad overall.
It's terrible, dude. Browns are now 7-8. Right now, Cleveland has arguably the most talented roster in the entire NFL.
I mean, they have great weapons.
Imagine if they still had Odell, because you're looking at the things now. Odell has more touchdowns since he's been traded to the Rams, since Baker has had touchdowns for the Browns since the trade has happened.
Yeah, which obviously proves, Cleveland wasn't the problem. So.
Oh yeah, it was fully Baker Mayfield, and now it's like that video OBJ's dad put out.
Yeah. I mean, OBJ's definitely have been doing great in LA, which obviously, points out that Baker Mayfield was the problem. I mean, he just wasn't getting enough targets. So, I mean, he's been doing great in LA. But, I mean, back to Cleveland and their weapons. I mean, they have Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb,
Landry, Miles Garrett. Their defense is extremely loaded, and then you look farther down on their roster, and you're like, wow, it goes deep. Like, they have an incredibly deep roster. They have a good coach. So look back at the last 6 Super Bowls. The Super Bowl winner and majority of the other Super Bowl people have had a top 3 defense.
Yeah.
And a top 3 run game.
Mm-hmm.
That is the success of Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how flashy the pass has been in the past couple of years. Defense wins Super Bowls, and then if you can run the ball and take the ball out of the other team's hands by taking away time on the clock, you're going to win the game. The Browns right now are 7th in defense. That's good enough to get a Super Bowl, and it's at least they get at least a turnover a game.
Yep.
And they're 3rd in rushing per game. Yet, in passing, they rate 27th with Baker Mayfield. The Browns are a good QB away from going to the Super Bowl, and if you guys don't believe me, let's compare his and Jared Goff's stats. Jared Goff, this season, has beat him out in completions, passing percentage, touchdowns thrown, has less interceptions thrown, and has more yards than Baker Mayfield. Jared Goff's team has 2 wins all year. I have yet to bet against the Detroit Lions, and I love the Detroit Lions. Feel terrible for their franchise, even though I'm a Packers fan. Baker Mayfield's got to go. He deserves to be a backup in this league at this point. The Browns could go into the playoffs and make some noise. Help putting Nick Foles on their team.
It definitely shows in comparison of how far the Browns made it last year compared to now, because Baker was playing well last year, and then they played the Chiefs last year, which they should have won, and honestly, in my opinion.
It was so close. Was it like 28-24?
Yeah, it was a really close game, but I mean that just shows how much potential the Browns really had when Baker Mayfield was being efficient.
Now, I don't know how, if you're a Browns fan, there's any way you can still defend Baker Mayfield. Their Super Bowl team, it's ridiculous what has been seen from Baker Mayfield. And last year, I think it's just an ego thing for him, honestly. And that's not something I ever like to say about NFL players. I hear guys say it all the time, bring in like egos and all that. I don't like to say it about NFL players. And it might just because I haven't been in the sports world long enough and I haven't seen enough of it. But it's because they're getting paid so much money. I expect them to all act with a certain discipline, a certain manner, and you have to be professional. I haven't seen enough of it, obviously, and I think Baker Mayfield's one of the biggest instances I've seen of he flat out just has a massive ego and can't put it aside for $30 million.
Yeah, he's one of those egotistical guys who obviously aren't, he's not showing, he's not backing it up. That's
not at all. And like all the commercials he does and stuff, people were hating. I was like, he's just getting his money, all that. No, it's not good for him. Focus on football, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny to see, the Browns, playing horribly, and then, him see a Baker Mayfield commercial come on. It's like, come on, buddy.
No, I'm excited to see what is going to happen with the Browns this offseason, their quarterback.